I'm back again. So, yes, if you've seen me from the beginning now, you'll know that I'm the vlogger. I vlog about things, go over conspiracies surrounding the Doctor, protect my identity and stuff and who I am. You may refer to me as that, the vlogger. Time is good. So, I am. I've been uncovering so many conspiracy theories surrounding the mystery of the blue box. Those who have gone missing, those who have gone missing and have returned, those who, well, have witnessed strange things happen around the world. So I want to talk today, most specifically, the woman that is known as Sarah Jane Smith, a good journalist, smart journalist, worked for over 40 years in her profession. Of course, in the mid-70s, she popped in at units, had disappeared for long periods of time before returning. In 1976, she ended up in Aberdeen for some reason and returned home to London in Croydon. But never really spoke of much what she saw, but always assisted like units whenever they needed her help, uncovering many strange stories. In her final years, she settled down in a house on London called 13 Bannerman Road, where, again, many neighbours found her a secretive, strange woman. Of course, she kept her investigations going, like in the mid-2000s when she was investigating a school, seeing kids having good records and good attendances. And then there was this photo taken in a chip shop where she has some sort of a robot dog and a man with her. Is that the Doctor? I think it is. I think she knows that all these doctors are one in the same, and that the Doctor has this ability to change faces. I know that for a fact, that the Doctor is a lord of time and a face changer. But Sarah Jane Smith, just who is she? Just who is Sarah Jane Smith? Well, in her final years, like I say, she settled down in Bannerman Road. But she made friends with the neighbours' kids, youngsters, probably gaining work experience in journalism, as that's what they wanted to do. Of course, there was many odd things that involved her. Does she do something? Does she protect the Earth during the Doctor's absence? Of course, who remembers that discontinued drink, Bubble Shock? Apparently, a small percentage of people didn't like it, and at one point they all went strange. People encouraging others, well, forcing others to drink it. Then the factory that distributed it, manufactured the stuff, that got destroyed and blown up, and the first journalist around that scene was, of course, Sarah Jane Smith. She also lived with her adopted son, Luke, who resembles an awful lot of a young missing boy at around that time called Ashley, but apparently there's nothing of that, of him being Ashley. But there were others. A young woman who loved loved the drink Bubble Shock, who was a teenager at that time. She doesn't have much memory, but all she knows is that she knows more than what she's saying when she knew Sarah Jane Smith. Of course, there was the young teenager who lived across the road from her, Maria Jackson, who got on with Sarah Jane, became good friends with her. There was even another youth that attended the same school as her, Clyde Langer. And of course, they all went off on outings together with Sarah Jane. Or were they something more? More than just work experience. Of course, in time, Maria Jackson and her father had moved to America, and then in her old house a new family moved in, the Chandras. A young girl named Rani kind of hit it off with Sarah Jane. In fact, she went on to become a successful journalist herself, but does not give any interviews about her time with Sarah Jane Smith. All that she says is that she was mentored by the best. At one point, I believe Sarah Jane was settling down and getting married, but then her groom, her husband to be, one minute at the wedding he was there, the next he apparently mysteriously vanished. Who was that? How was that so? There was also her parents, Barbara and Eddie Smith, who, at one point when she was a baby in 1951, left her and drove off and were never seen again. Of course, Sarah Jane was raised by her aunt. And then there was many other things. She went on many other strange cases, like at one point a man at this research facility believed to have been controlled by something, had strange body language. Then, of course, Sarah investigated a haunted house, which is believed to be the most haunted place in Britain. But she debunked it. And of course, there was that whole game place. What was it called? Annihilation, Destruction, something 3000. There'll be a photo up giving you the right answer. Kids went missing around there, but when they reappeared, they had no memory of where they were or what happened. Then there was another strange man that she was investigating, Martin Truman, who could read the stars. What was going on with him? Because he was never quite the same again and stuff. But Sarah Jane investigated him. Again, it's not known, but I believe that Sarah Jane, in her house, with these group of youths, they went out on alien investigations when units or torture or whatever for that matter were not investigating. She investigated and tried to stop many alien threats, as I said before, during the Doctor's absence, because the Doctor isn't always here. He comes and goes. And yes, of course, I think there are people out there that do protect the Earth in his absence and stop alien invasions. That is who I think Sarah Jane Smith is. She is a former companion of the Doctor's. Well, was. Of course, Sarah Jane Smith sadly passed away in 2020. Sad. But a lot of people attended her memorial. A lot of people had heartwarming things to say about her. You know, I think, and I'm probably not the only one that thinks this, but maybe her friends believe that the Doctor came back, asked if she wants one last look around, and she's like, yes, please. But of course, she's sadly deceased. Left a lot of things to a lot of her friends and family, including her son Luke. She left a lipstick product to Joe Jones. She really loved her lipstick, Sarah Jane Smith. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day there. I think I've explained who I think Sarah Jane Smith is. I'll probably talk more about the Doctor, but one of the other Doctors which does not appear male. The woman in the blue box. I'll talk about that next time, maybe. I'll be checking out now from this one.